All right, here we are again. It's been 2019. It's been a few years.
Yes, 2019 made my way to New Zealand for that month that I was there. Um, in that month, you were great help. And if I can just touch on a couple of things, you actually um, pushed me. You said, Carl, look here, you can't be sitting at home and expecting meetings to fall into your lap. I remember this conversation very well. And you said, you need to be making things happen, which did light some fire within me. What I really enjoyed by what support you gave, you sent me that Excel spreadsheet where I still have it now, where I plotted all the people who I dialed on that trip. Just for ease of reference, I've used that. That actually gave me peace of mind that I really did try and to reach out to people and actually get that offer. Where I eventually then got to the Sharp Corporation, and unfortunately that didn't materialize, but it wasn't meant to be at that point in time.
You had one job offer, so you had full reason to relax, right? It should work normally.
Yes, it was just unfortunate that there was an internal transfer that the reason why he did not offer me the job was there was somebody else that was moving internally, and he said he did not want to lose that person's expertise.
Oh, I see. Are you frustrated, or do you still maintain positivity? I mean, you've been known by me as someone who's extremely positive.
Yes, no, definitely positive. I mean, since 2019, I've since moved into another role here in South Africa, moved to Cape Town. So try to keep the wheels turning. In other words, can't be despondent at the end of the day. I think immigration is it's a it's intense, and it can break families apart. And I suppose any job seeker or somebody looking to immigrate needs to be cognizant of the fact that they need to be strong-willed, and their mindset needs to be in the right place, because things you don't just get the first offer that you go for. You don't often get the first offer you go for a meeting or an interview. Maybe not even the second or the third, but it is a numbers game. So not giving up is very important. In the process, in the last year or 2 years, we've looked at upskilling ourselves. I've taken on another course, a wealth management course. I believe New Zealand, for financial advisors, there's something called the level 5, which I'm now trying to acquire, so that at least I'm one step forward with that aspect. My wife has just completed a master's, so in terms of that, at least there's more education. So mindset is very important, and at the end of the day, just knocking on the door.
Have you any alternatives? Are you still 100% New Zealand? How would you describe your mood?
New Zealand was first prize at the end of the day. Unfortunately, the visa process hinges on a job offer, like with Australia as well. There's Canada as well, which also considering in terms of the express entry. I don't know. Are they inclined to give visas or job offers for people that are offshore at this point in time, or are they focusing on onshore
Yeah, no,
applications still?
you're right. It's the mood has changed there. I mean, they were giving them out. There are some areas. Someone like you who is going after a certain level of achievement in education, and if you're targeted to New Zealand as your first choice, if a company was to know that, Carl, and if you were meant to make contact with a hiring manager, there's a high likelihood that that hiring manager, being a human being, would have an interest because you're interested in them and you're targeting them. It's a personal approach, and they will feel inclined to keep the door open. I mean, why not? You're a guy who's targeted them. You've presented your case. They've taken the time. That's the key, is have they taken the time to bring it in? So having that communication flow into their heads easily without distracting them. So in other words, don't force them to study. So that's one of the things that I do with people is bring things into multimedia and make it very accessible with the metrics, the measurements of success. Yeah.
On that note, yes, I think it was you that assisted me with the video CV, eh?
Yeah.
Yes. No, that was awesome. When I reached, I think it was the Hayes International recruitment company, and I reached out to them and I sent it to them, and she said, "Wow, this is nice. A way to stand out from the crowd." Yeah. So there was lots of tools that you equip your your people with, in order to be ahead of the eight ball. So yeah, that was very nice.
So you've considered Canada, Australia, New Zealand. New Zealand's still your first choice. The delays are still here for both Australia and New Zealand. Is Canada opened, or do you know? Or I mean, if you wanted, in theory, to make Canada your first choice, could you jump over there within the next couple of months, theoretically, or is that also blocked?
Theoretically, based on their point system, it puts things bit in perspective because it could happen at any time without a job offer. So that's the big advantage with Canada. So yes, it could happen within 6 months, a year, or a year and a half. At the end of the day, so with regards to that points-based process, it does put the person a bit more at ease, because then it just happens. You have to upskill yourself, up your education level, up your whatever you need in order to get the visa without the job offer. So that's a bit of a nicer way approach for immigration, I suppose. And it clearly works for Canada. Otherwise, they would have changed it. I wonder why other countries have not acquired that sort of process as yet.
Yeah. It's almost as if some countries would prefer to have the barriers higher in order to get those people that really want it. I think Canada has a more of a volume need, apparently, according to one of the clients that studied this. He recently has said that Canada's fit for the next 50 years. They're just going to be pumping along with all the mineral resources that they've got and room to expand. So that was his view, that was his finding, and he's quite data-driven guy. I don't know how much, everyone has a perspective, but Canada apparently is quite motivated politically and economically to bring in big flows of people at the moment. So I suppose it's going to be easier, but I can understand you and this gentleman as well that did this data research. New Zealand is still the target. It's still the number one choice.
What is New Zealand like I think, top 3 best countries to live in the world?
Yes, I think so. Consistently. Yeah.
Consistently.
Well, your wife has got a master's now. You keep advancing. You're just going from strength to strength. You started off in the call center.
It was in a call center, yes. I was always in a call center. Outsurance is a call center at heart, but it's a direct insurer. It's an insurance company that runs, that is a call center. So they dial out. So I worked in the outbound department, physically dialing, calling people who did not have a need, that did not request insurance, whether it was car insurance, contents insurance, or business insurance. And then I took over my own team within the call center, who I managed that team. So that was then. Since then, I've now become a broker doing life insurance and investments. So retirement annuities, endowments, those sort of things.
Right. Moving from the lower ticket items to the higher, and also moving from the highly resistant, unapproached cold calls to hopefully more warm calls where people are requesting to see you, and you've got a bit of a brand of your name next to what you do.
Something like that, yes.
Something like that, yes. Bigger and better things. Carl, keep in touch. It's really great to talk to you. Thank you for spending the time here. I consider it a gift of your time to come here and say a few good words about me, and also to keep in touch.
No problem. I'll keep saying it. You've always, from the get-go, when I found you, I think the service that you offer potential immigrants are invaluable. They just don't know it because they haven't utilized you as yet. However, you do have a lot of people on social media that punt your services. I've seen that. So they've obviously utilized you, like myself, and I will punt your services to absolutely anybody who requires a hands-on approach, because that's what you give. You give people hands-on approaches. You're there, and whenever you responded, you could hear the wealth of knowledge that came through. So I would highly recommend your services to absolutely anybody that needs a hands-on approach. And I feel that your services are very affordable for what you get for it. So whoever's watching this, I would say utilize Tate. He is phenomenal at his job.
I feel humbled by your words. Thank you, Carl.
No problem.